Hey, what's up? Chad Hermansen here with Mental Edge Training Coach. If you're enjoying these episodes, of course, make sure you subscribe, hit that bell button so you don't miss out on any new episodes. Today, I'm going to be talking with Mike, the Hitman Easler. Coach Easler has been around for a long time in professional baseball, played for over 14 years in the big leagues, has been a hitting coach forever in the big leagues. We're going to talk about what his philosophy is, what he thinks about hitting. So we're going to dive deep into that conversation. And of course, if you want any extra help on the mental side of the game for yourself or for your child, make sure you visit mentaledge.training, where you can be introduced to my teachings. I have a free 4-video part course that you can go through. So go to mentaledge.training for that. So enjoy this episode with Mike, the Hitman Easler. Hey, what's up, guys? Today we're here with Mike, the Hitman Easler. Mike, what's going on, man? How are we doing today?
Yeah, doing good. I gotta count my blessings right now, and everything's going on. As a matter of fact, I just got finished doing an early morning lesson. Don't tell nobody. But I'm starting to get busy again, so everything is good, Chad. Good talking to you also.
Awesome. So, Mike, you've been around this game, I mean, a long time. I want you to kind of walk us through, because you're a very good hitting coach. You've been doing this for years, not only as a player, but was actually a hitting coach in the big leagues. Worked with probably some of the best players. I'd like you to walk us through kind of your playing career, and as we go through that, maybe your philosophy on hitting.
Yeah, Chad. Well, I signed a contract in 1969. I signed with the Houston Astros. I was a 14th draft choice. Didn't get much money to sign, but I had a passion. I had a love for the game, so I begged my dad to sign the contract at 18 years old because I really didn't want to go to school. I went to Cleveland State University 1 year, but I didn't really focus the way I should have. So I said, please sign the contract. So I went to the minor leagues, and my dad did agree. He said he let me sign it if he knew how much I wanted it. And I ended up signing with the Astros in 1969, and I spent 10 years in the minor leagues, and I spent 10 years also in winter baseball. So talking about a long time and a passion and love for the game, I had to have it because I just wasn't going to quit, Chad. I just loved the game so much, and I knew that I had just as much ability that anybody else had. I just needed to, it just took me longer. I was basically a late bloomer.
That's awesome. Now, how many years did you spend in the minors, and what was your minor league career like?
Well, well, I spent 10 years, as I said, plus in the minor leagues.
Yeah.
I think I hit 300, 7 out of 10 years there, made all-stars at each level. It was tough. And then in the wintertime, I went to 6 winters to Mexico. I went 3 winters to Venezuela and 1 winter in Panama. I just was playing nonstop basically for 10 years straight. And I won 2 batting titles down there, one in 76 and one in 78, that basically got me over the hump because they said, well, there's nothing more he can do down in AAA no more. And I came up at 28 years old. So basically, I was a rookie in the major league. My first year with the Pirates was 1979. I think I was 28, 29 years old. It was a long road. It was frustrating at times. I wanted to give up, but I wanted it too bad. And I found a way to pick myself up. My dad kicked me in the butt a few times and told me to, get with it. What do you want to do? Drive a truck at home? I said, no, sir. So I kept driving. I kept believing in myself, and I kept getting better too. I didn't stop working. I just tried to be the best hitter and the best player that I could be. And as I said, I was 28 years old when I was a rookie in the major league with the Pirates in 1979.
So in 79, you get up to the big leagues. So our listeners know, you were an outfielder?
I was an outfielder, and basically 1979, I was used strictly as a pinch hitter. That's where I got the nickname the Hitman. Coming off the bench, getting a big hit in a tough situation. I had 2 pinch hit home runs within a week early in the season that kind of sparked the 79 club. That year we won the World Series, if you remember. 79 is the year, my rookie year, we won the World Series that year. We our family year.
That's impressive.
And exactly, I mean, look. I mean, you can quit if you want, but you never know. You might be right on the cuff of something big. So don't quit. Just keep striving and driving towards your prize. And basically, that's what I did. And I only started 3 games that year, 1979. I was used strictly as a pinch hitter. And then the next year, 1980, is when I finally got a chance to play. And I got lucky and hit 338 with 21 home runs.
That's awesome. So you're getting every day at bats at that point, right? So
in 1980, they finally gave me a chance to play, and I started getting some at bats, and I knew I could hit. I mean, I knew I could. It's just a matter of getting opportunity. I wasn't, they had better outfielders, Omar Moreno, Lee Lacy, Bill Robinson. They had better outfielders, but none of them could hit with me, and I knew that. So I just needed a chance to get out there and show what I could do. And I got better in the outfield because, the more you play, the better you get. Simple as that.
Yeah, it's a whole different game, right? When you're getting those everyday at bats.
Oh, yeah, it's different than night and day. Man, I didn't give a doggone that. I just went out there and did what I did best, hit line drives.
Hit line drives. So let's talk about that because you spent a long time in the big leagues. In my research, 14 years. So tell us your hitting philosophy. Did it ever change in the big leagues, or was it always consistent and the same?
Well, Chad, when I got to the big leagues, I was a pretty solid hitter then. Then I got around guys like Willie Stargell, Bill Robinson, Dave Parker, Bill Madlock. I mean, they called Pirates the lumber company for nothing. I mean, that's why they was called the lumber company. Them guys could really, really, really hit. Not only were they good physically, they taught me how to hit mentally, how to look at a pitcher, what the pitcher's doing, how he set me up, what his out pitch is, what his get me over pitch, and how he tried to put me away, and how they pitch with guys in scoring position opposed to nobody on base. And sometimes you hit according to who the catcher is. The catcher calls most of the pitches anyway. Just a lot of the mental part of the game that they got me better with. But once I got a chance to play, I just saw the ball and hit the ball where it's pitched, And I was the type of guy that, I don't know, I kept things simple. I just had good balance, good flexibility. I stayed back and I read the ball good. I seen the ball. I let the ball dictate my swing, as Tony Gwynn used to say. You let the ball dictate your swing, and I was quick enough to sit back a long time and use my hand, because I was a hands hitter. I wasn't a big old wind up and big swing. I had a short, quick swing, bam. And I just let the ball dictate my swing, and I hit the ball all field, and I learned to do it with power. Make sense?
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
I didn't confuse you with that.
Yeah, no doubt. So you had when I've seen, because you post some really cool stuff online, some of your, the way you hit, you had a really cool and kind of unique finish, right? Yes. Explain your finish.
Yes. Well, the thing about my follow through is that everybody asks me, and I really don't know, but I think it goes back to when I was in Double-A, and I was with the Astros, and we were playing in Charlotte, North Carolina, Charlotte someplace. And the roving instructor, Bob Lillis, came through. And I just kept telling him, and it was a big ballpark we was in there. It was the Minnesota Twins organization, I think we were playing against. And I was hitting balls, but they were just kind of going to the warning track. I had warning track power. I had little man hitted power, I mean, I really couldn't get it out the ballpark. I was a good hitter, but the ball wasn't leaving, and I was kind of strong, and I know they wanted more power out of me. So he said, Mike, just start working on a bigger follow through and trying to get through the ball. Plus, I was watching Reggie Jackson on TV, and I studied how he dropped down and finished and put his hands up and flipped the bat, and he was hot dogging, etc. But I was doing it to try to get a follow through and finish my swing. So I started doing, I call it the Reggie, and I started to do what Bob Lillis said. So I developed that. After a while, I called that the Statue of Liberty. When I got up, I was up there like that. It was like a posing. But that created backspin. Okay. And next thing you know, the ball started going out the ballpark. And as I said, that was 75 or 75. And then the following year, I got, I went up to AAA, and I played with the Cardinals organization in Tulsa, and I ended up hitting 352 with 26 home runs with that follow through. And the wind used to blow out of left field at the Tulsa Stadium, Tulsa Oilers. It turned into Drillers. You probably played at the Drillers Stadium. But I played in the oil, and the ball started going everywhere. I said, oh, shit. I mean, it sucks. I said, that ball's gone. And the follow through stayed after that. I just never stopped finishing high and getting through the ball. And as a matter of fact, I posted something on my Instagram the other day. Is myself, Mo Vaughn, and Prince Fielder all had a similar follow through with the high helicopter looking Statue of Liberty swing. Fred McGriff kind of had it too, if you remember. He kind of let go.
Yeah, he did a little windmill type thing.
Exactly, the windmill. And who else did that? A couple other guys do it. A guy with the Yankees do it, really. A guy, third baseman, what's his name? Third baseman for the Yankees. I think he got hurt at the end of last year.
Was that like Andujar?
Yeah, it might be Andujar. Yeah, he hits it and kind of finishes over his head with his hand too.
Okay.
Kind of different. But come to find out, that was basically what they're talking about now is the launch angle.
Okay. So tell us about that.
But the launch angle, to me, as an instructor, is after contact. If you go dip down before contact, you're going to get under the ball and you're going to be hitting a lot of balls up in the air. I'm a believer short to the ball and long through the ball. Short to it,
long through it. Right.
Yeah.
So that has been your, because I worked with you back when I was playing a couple of times, and we worked on a couple of things too. Yes. And I remember I've seen videos of you in the past, and that's short to it, long through it.
That's
that
right.
That always sticks with me. I still use that with kids that I work with.
Yes.
How long were you a hitting coach in the big leagues?
I was my first year was with Milwaukee Brewers. That was like 1991 or 2. Might have been earlier. 1991 or 2. Remember Pat Listash?
Yeah.
Dante Bichette?
Yep.
Okay, that's the same year that Robin Yount. Robin Yount got 3,000 hits that year.
Okay.
Paul Molitor. It's the first year that Phil Garner was manager with the Brewers. Okay. I think it was 91 or 92. I forgot what year it was. So I was with Milwaukee then. Pat Listash ended up being the rookie of the year that year. Bichette was becoming a hitter.
Mm-hmm.
He wasn't quite the hitter yet till after the year was over. And then, as I said, Paul Molitor, Robin Yount, we had some great hitters. We had some good ball club that year. And then I got traded. Well, I left Milwaukee and went to Boston. And that's when I had a chance to work with Mo Vaughn and the Boston Red Sox organization. That was like 92 or 93. And that's when Mo started picking up that high finish, that high follow through, what you're talking about. John Valentin. They had a good team. They had a lot of good hitters on the team. And I worked with them. And then from there, I ended up going to the Cardinals organization. I was a big league hitting coach with the Cardinals. The year 1998, was it 98, 97? What year did McGwire hit the?
I believe that was 98, if I'm not mistaken.
Okay, yeah. I came in 99 the following year.
Okay.
I came 99, and then he ended up hitting 65 that year. Hello. Jim Edmonds came over from the Angels, and I was really into the follow-through then. I started really teaching the legs and the follow-through.
Okay.
The legs, if anybody work with me, basically either they're going to be dropping their legs down or hips, and they're going to be finishing high. And McGwire was a strong believer in finishing high with the release. Right. He had the release swing. Top hand came off, and then the bottom hand extended. Edmonds had the release. Mo Vaughn had the two-hand finish. Everybody's a little different, so I had to analyze who can finish with the release and who couldn't. And but the bottom line is you had to have a high finish after you make contact.
Yeah, so that's an interesting one because that was 99 was my call-up year. That was when I got to the big leagues, and you got Mark McGwire at first, Jim Edmonds in center. Now let's talk about Jim Edmonds, because Jim was, and I don't know him personally, I've chatted with him, but he was a guy that spread out and kind of just picked up his heel and kind of did a rotation and gives off the impression of he's swinging uphill. Yes. What was his philosophy? Because was he enough?
As far as Jim Edmonds was concerned, I had to get into Jim Edmonds' mind. He used to pick his foot up and step way out. He used to be more close together and when he played for the Angels. But I had to somehow convince him that he was much more consistent when he widened up, as you say, pick up the heel, put his foot down, and then rotate his hip. And he just kind of rock back, boom. And he was just killing balls. And he told me, he said, Mike, I usually do that when I get 2 strikes.
Right.
I widen up and slow everything down. I said, Jimmy, you can hit from that. I said, you'll see the ball better. You have less strikeouts. you'll make more contact, and you're strong enough to hit the ball out anywhere. Because he just had tremendous hand and quickness and whip in his swing. And he started doing it, and I think the first year with St. Louis, which I think you forgot what year it was, right around the time you were there, 92, 93 or something like that, 94, maybe 95, 94. He hit 42 home runs the first year with the Cardinals.
Yeah, he went off.
And he went off. No. He went to another level. And but he was a good ball player. Anyway, but we widened him up a little bit, slowed everything down, and just use your hand and the good finish, the good high finish. I mean, I was really into the good high finish with guys who can do it, the guys that can do it.
Yeah. So now, did he have thoughts of, did he think down to the ball, or was he more uphill to the ball?
He was to the ball. He was
just to it.
Just to it.
Okay.
I'm telling you, Chad, most of the guys in my era, they never talked about getting under the ball. They never talked about lifting. They never talked about launch angle.
Get the ball
low,
in the air.
Yeah, exactly. No. They didn't. I mean, they wanted. I know they wanted to get the ball in the air. That's the only way you hit with power. But the only way you do that is get the head out front. Yeah. Get the ball out front. So the launch angle to us was getting the hands out front, get the ball out front, and then finishing.
Okay.
Not getting beat. Back here where the ball ties you up. We wanted to get our hands out front and then finish. All the hitters that I studied, Rod Carew, Tony Gwynn, Wade Boggs, all of them, Don Mattingly, Dave Winfield, all them guys got the head out. Yeah. Head out, short to the ball. Boom, boom. Sheffield, I posted something on my Instagram
I saw
the other day of Sheffield.
Yeah.
Yeah, you saw that?
Yeah.
And he said, all I try to do is get the head out, boom, and then finish out.
Yeah.
Head out, finish out. Head to the ball, bat head to the ball, finish. Barrel to the ball, finish.
And most of them, and I saw that video, I believe they posted that on maybe MLB Network too. And I believe I just thought about my hands. I never thought about my body. I just wanted my hands to get to the ball. And
that's Mo Vaughn. Let me ask. I'm doing a podcast show with Chad Hermansen, who used to play. We're talking about hitting right now. We're talking about your follow through. The extension of no. We're talking about how they used to knock the bat out your damn hand. I weak stuff. No. Yeah, Mo has a batting academy up in Boca Raton, Florida.
Yeah.
It's the Vaughn Sports Academy. So he has a son that's 8 years old now, 7 or 8 years old. So he just expanded it from a 2-cage facility to about a 6 to 7 cage facility.
Oh, beautiful. Yeah.
So as soon as things die down a little bit and we could travel, I'll probably go up there and start doing, hitting clinics and stuff like that. So beautiful. I'm just trying to stay active, Chad. I mean, I enjoy what I do. My body feels good. I've been blessed. And I'm Joe, you have too, and you like to just pass it on. Whatever you got, you just want to pass it on.
No doubt. Another guy that I wanted to talk about that you had was Pujols.
Albert. You're right.
Now he is. Tell me about Albert's approach. What does he do?
Albert is funny. Tony La Russa told me. He said, Mike, we have a prospect coming up through. He's 20 years old. He played in A-ball last year, but he's supposed to be a pretty good hitter. I said, oh, okay, all right. He said, I want you to make sure when he comes to spring training, we're going to invite him early, and he's going to come in, and we're going to take a look at him and probably send him to AAA. He's probably ready for AAA. I said, no problem, Tony, no problem. So you remember Placido Polanco?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, yep. Placido was one of my favorite gifted students. He was like with me everywhere I went. Placido was there. He was a nonstop worker. People don't talk about him, but he had a great career.
Yeah, he was a real good player.
Yeah, he was a real good player, but he was a bench player. He was a utility guy, bench player. So what happened is him and Pujols was real close, but they're from Dominican, and he used to bring Pujols and he said, whatever you do, I want you to work with Mike and me, beginning in the morning and then after practice. We're gonna go in it every single day. Pujols was, when he first stepped in the cage, he had a wide base all the time. He always had a wide base, and his hands basically was up the way he saw it. So I just wanted to see how he got the barrel to the baseball and how he would hit certain areas, up and in, down and in, low and away, up and away. Then I changed speeds on him because when I was young, I used to throw harder, and I changed, I just kind of changed speeds, slow his body down to see what adjustments he made. Everything that I threw him, he hit on the nose. When I said curveball, I slowed it down. He slowed it down, had a natural inside-out swing. When I said fastball up and in, bam, he just got the barrel there. He always had the release and the two hands.
Yeah.
He was just, I hate to say it, he had Hall of Fame mechanics when he was 20 years old.
Yeah.
So I told Tony, I said, Tony, after a couple of days, I gave him a report, I went to Tony, I said, Tony, this kid is ready. Not only, I said, he's ready for the big leagues now, man. I said, he said, no. He's not ready. He's 20 years old. I said, Tony, you say what you want. There's nobody that come in that cage and hit the ball harder than he does and more consistent.
Right.
I said, he hits the ball to all fields. He got perfect balance. I said, he gets through the ball. I can't beat him inside. I said, he drops down and goes the other way, meaning he uses leg to hit the low and away pitch. Up and in, he gets his hands. I said, Tony. So finally, at the end of spring training that year, and that's the year that we picked up Bobby Bonilla, because I think that's the year that McGwire hurt his knee, or McGwire was hurt. So he couldn't start. So we were looking for, Bonilla was going to fill in for McGwire until McGwire got better. So at the end of spring training, we were playing Atlanta Braves in Orlando, Florida, at their ballpark. Atlanta Braves was at that park in Orlando. And if you've been to that ballpark, the scoreboard was about 100,000 feet high, if you remember, in left field.
Right.
We were playing in a spring training game, and Albert hit one over that scoreboard, over that clock, whatever it was. Mm. And if you've been there, you know how far and high that was.
Right.
And Tony kind of looked down at me. I looked at Tony. I said, I told you he's ready. And that's after hitting like 350, 360, and, just regular games, just base hits everywhere.
Yeah.
And then just so happened that week, toward the last week of that spring training, Bobby Bonilla had a pulled muscle. So he couldn't start the season. So Albert had to start the season in the big league. And the rest, Rookie of the Year, and the rest, 600-something home runs later, Hall of Fame, bottom line.
Hall of Fame
just had it. He's amazing. He was just amazing. He was amazing from the beginning when he was young, super confident. He was determined to make that club that first year. He was determined. I could see it in his eyes. When you could see something different in a guy, and I saw something different from the beginning with Albert.
Yeah. No, he's really interesting to talk to because, I'm an Angel now, and he's working. When he came to the Angels, he was already a Hall of Famer, right? 10 years with St. Louis, and now the rest has been, heck, I think he's on his maybe last contract year with the Angels. So he's older now. His body's beat up, plantar fasciitis, all that stuff. And but man, he can still, he's probably 40, 39, 40, I would say.
I love Albert. I love him. Always a great and always a good kid too. Very respectful.
Yeah.
And very coachable.
Yeah.
Respectful and coachable.
No doubt. So let's talk about, you've been teaching this philosophy, what a lot of people, I guess we're considered old school now. What are your thoughts on what's happening now with the game, with hitting instructors? Because we're seeing even different things at the big league level. What are your thoughts on that?
Well, I try not to get into it too much. There's so many talented kids right now. And these kids can flat out hit. You get the Mike Trout, you get the Yelich, Tatis, the young guys, Bichette. These guys can hit. And I haven't started doing this on my Instagram yet, but these guys, Chad, all of them have the same basic fundamentals as the hitters back when you played and back when I played and the guys that played before us. They're all balanced. They all got flexibility. They're all in a good hitting, pre-hitting position. They all got short strides, if any. They all got their hands up a little bit above above their shoulders. And they all got a quiet, nice load. And when they load, their eyes are always quiet. You can see them on the pitcher's release point of the area, the little circle we talk about, the box, where they're going to release the ball. And they all sit there, and the ball comes, they got a quiet load. They all sit on their legs. They use their hips and legs. And when they read it, and then the great hitters, they hit the ball out the ballpark, opposite field, right field and left field, straightaway center. And then when you need a base hit, most of the great hitters, my era, before my beta era, and all the kids now, they hit the ball up the middle and drive in runs the same way, short and quick to the ball. They cut their swing down. And the good hitters have a way of Miguel Cabrera, people like that. They have a way of when they get 2 strikes or guys in scoring position, they cut their swing down and just to make good hard contact. They get away from that falling back and trying to lift. See, that's the thing nowadays. Most of these kids, they get 2 strikes or a pitcher's real tough. They stay in the same home run or early in the count mode. They don't make the adjustment and start playing pepper. We talk about playing pepper, just being short and quick to the ball. They don't do enough of that. They stay in the same home run or early in the count mode where they should choke up a little bit, shorten their swing up and their approach for the 2-strike mode or a guy that's really, really tough. I look at the great pitchers that's winning 20 games and all this stuff like that. See, back in our day, and what it is, we had a lot of guys that threw like that. People don't think they threw it hard. We might not have some of the relievers throwing 99, 100. But some starters were braided, 95, 96. And then, and plus, not only did they throw hard, Nolan Ryan and, Steve Carlton, and I could go on and on, Tom Seaver, them guys not only could pitch, they threw hard and they had control and they will knock you off the plate. They pitch up and in. They don't even do that hardly anymore. So with 2 strikes, you had to break your swing down and just had to play pepper and try to make hard contact. So you change your swing, you change your approach in a tough situation, guys in scoring position, or with 2 strikes. I don't see the guys now making an adjustment when they get 2 strikes. They stay in the same big swing mode. And if I was coaching the big leagues, I would have a lot of them guys now Yelich and guys who are hitting for average, Tatis, and I could name some other names. Look at Dante Bichette's son, Bo Bichette. I mean, these guys cut their swing down when they get 2 strikes and use the whole field and just try to, make good hard contact. That's why I don't see as a whole, they stay in that big old long launching swing where they should cut their swing down. They're striking out too much, basically.
Yeah. No, I think Bichette's a good one, where he's got a lot of athletic movement to him.
Yeah.
And in fact, I remember we were scouting him in high school. And it was I remember watching him down at the area code games. He had this very kind of unorthodox type swing. And you're like, man, that's really different. Like, is that going to work? And, but then you continue to watch him. I'm like, dude, this guy barrels up the ball every single time.
Thank you. Thank you. And you know what? When a guy does that, Chad, as a scout, when a guy gets the head out and totally balanced, what can you say?
Yeah.
You can't say nothing. Some things you can't explain. And I told Dante, I talked to Dante a few times since then, and I text him all the time. And I said, man, now Dante had another son, Dante Jr. I guess he just doesn't have the same whatever that Bo does. But boy, them guys Bo has some just like it's the same thing that Albert had. I'm making a comparison. I know if I should or shouldn't. But they had a way of getting the bat head, barrel the ball up consistently, even though they might whatever movement they had. But the bottom line is when the ball was in the air coming, their foot was down and the bat head got to the ball, the barrel got to the ball, and that's what that's what Bo has, and a lot of other kids up there too have the same thing. Vladimir Jr. I think his swing's a little bigger than Bo, Vladimir Jr. But them guys get hit. Them young boys can flat out rake.
Yeah, it's impressive. And they've been able to do it so quickly and making adjustments. And Bichette, like you were saying, with his big movements, then he gets to 2 strikes. He completely, it's almost a different swing.
Exactly.
Right? Less
Slowed
body,
everything
more
down. Because I think I saw something on Bo. I saw on the YouTube where he had like 12 or 14 at bats against, I forgot who it was against. But he fouled it off, bam, hit a home run to right center. It was just so. How can you teach that? I don't know. I can't teach that. Yeah. That's just something inside of him. He just got that, he's going to be a great hitter. That's all I can. They think it's luck. I don't think it's luck. I think he just knows how to flat out hit. Dante's done a great job with him. Plus, he's got some natural something inside of him, you know, that you can't scout, I can't scout, and as a coach, you can't teach.
No doubt. Yeah, no doubt.
Something different.
Yeah. Well, and it's whether it's innate or not, or you're gifted,
yes.
born with it. But
Yes.
I can't. I've seen some videos of him working out online. I mean, it's impressive where they just get after it and they're doing what they need to be doing, and probably a lot more than
committed. Not only committed, passionate, young, in shape. These guys are, you know, and hey, no one's giving them anything. People don't, oh man, you know, they're getting all this money. They're getting it. Man, these guys work for that. I mean, it is hard work. People don't understand how tough it is to hit a baseball consistently day in and day out. And as hard as they're throwing now, I mean, they're bringing some cheese up there, you know. I'm telling you. I mean, we would have made adjustments, you know, just like everybody else do. But shit, it's a very tough game. Toughest thing to do in sports is hit the baseball on a consistent basis. Very tough.
Now, you've been doing lessons now for a long time locally.
Mm-hmm.
When you have a kid that maybe comes in and you see that he's really, you know, dropping that backside, is that are you seeing that a lot with your instruction?
I see it a whole lot. When they get with me, I don't make a big deal out of it. I give them drills to do that they can't drop like that. And when I throw to them, my arms, you know, I don't throw obviously as hard as I used to as BP, but I put balls in certain areas that I know if they drop, they're going to hit it right up in the air or they're going to miss it.
Typically up
but
in the
the drill,
zone.
the one,
Typically up in the zone a little bit.
Exactly. So, and if I do one-hand drills with them, I put a one-hand bat drill in their bat, you can't drop down and hit the ball one-handed. It's impossible. You know, you can't do it. You got to go down, through, down. Because when you hit the ball, it's palm up, palm down. Everything will be right here. But when you get there, your hands got to get to the ball to get through the ball. If I get here, I'm going to miss. There's so much area that I'll miss the ball in by dropping. And I can see it when a new student immediately.
Yeah. Right there.
And so I just, as I said, I start doing drills or you put a tee at home plate. You put a tee. And I tell them, hit the ball, and I put the L screen sideways.
Yeah.
I tell them to hit the L screen on the nose. They said, what do you mean? I said, just hit a line drive right up the middle, right over the pitcher's head, right off the L screen. Now, think about that, Chad. Can you do this and hit that L screen straight away?
No. It's going to go.
Impossible. All you can do is go level through the ball.
Yeah.
So a lot of times I make these kids automatically fix themselves when I go through a lesson with them. Some understand, some get it, some don't, some want that lift, and they might not come back, but just so be it. You know, I can't, you know. But if you watch the good hitters in the city, you know, the Bryce Harper when he was coming through, the what's his name, third baseman for the Cubs, what's his name?
Chris Bryant.
Yeah, Chris Bryant, them guys all, they had good follow through, they finished their swing, but all of them was short to the ball. And once you get short to the ball, then you go into the follow through, and the follow through is short to the ball, long to the ball. And that's where they develop their power. But I can see it immediately. When I coach, the first thing I do is get them on the tee and hit 5 balls off the tee. And I said, I want you to hit that L screen straight away. So I can see them, whatever their swing was, they start making adjustments, trying to get that line drive up the middle. Then we start from there.
Yeah. It's
Make
funny.
sense?
Absolutely. Because I've been actually working with my son on this, because he's about almost 6'4", big, tall. And I kind of call him my baby giraffe, right? He's kind of a late bloomer, but he's starting to get some strength. And
how old is he?
He's a junior. He's gonna be a senior.
What school?
I'm sorry?
What school?
He's at Green Valley.
Oh, beautiful, beautiful.
But he had, you know, if this is the bat, he had a little bit. He was letting it as his hands were going forward. The bat was getting there. So he was swinging underneath a lot of fastballs that should be smoked.
He should be dropping in.
I would say he finally had a breakthrough today. And I'm like, dude, I want you to just go. I want you to over exaggerate everything here. You know, and Barry Bonds just talked about this with Christian Yelich.
I saw that. I saw that. I saw that.
So basically, like hit the ball right out front of home plate.
Yes, I saw that.
You obviously never do that in a game.
Yeah.
But getting the feel of I want to go here, right?
Yeah.
Just straight down to it. So he started to do that. It's the best session he's ever had. Okay.
Yeah. That's
right.
What
and
he
just
said.
smoking balls. And he's going like this. He's like, I don't get it. Like it just clicked for him. I go, dude, I've been telling you this for a while. And whether it's his brain just finally got it.
Yeah.
He was just smoking balls, and then also smoking balls to right center. And he was like, this is actually a lot easier.
Yes. Yes. But you know what? On that, Chad, I understand exactly what Bonds was saying.
Yeah.
But me as an instructor, I wouldn't know how to teach that, what he just saw.
Right.
But it's right. It's right, you know, because after he does that, then he gets through the ball and everybody's different. Everybody's different. But and that's me. They asked me, do I teach everybody the same thing? It's not that you teach everybody the same thing. What you teach them is the basic fundamentals of balance, flexibility, keeping your hands in a good position, not getting under the ball, but just get to the ball and through the ball. Everybody has to do that.
Yeah.
So if you want to call that cloning hitters or everybody hits it, but every hitter that I work with do not look the same. They all got a different swing, but they're balanced. Their hands in a good position. They're quick to the ball, and they finish their swing. Now, how it looks when it's over, who cares? As long as they're successful.
Yeah.
As long as they're hitting line drives and they're not missing pitches that they should be driving.
Yeah, and I think when they start seeing those different results,
yes,
you know, then they're taking batting practice in the cage, right? And they're just hitting line drives, and they're not really, they can't see how far the ball's going, but then they get out on the field, and then they take that on-field BP, and you're like, oh wow, that ball's now going like that.
Exactly.
It's not and just,
I call it humpback. They're not getting that humpback.
Humpback.
You're right. No,
there's, you know, I think that's the battle, right? Of all the way back to Ted Williams, where he says, you know, where you're actually swinging up. But that's a difference between you might be swinging down to the ball, but by the time you make contact and it's out front of your leg, you're on the uphill.
That's exactly right. It's like an arc, a arc.
Yeah, I think that's what's getting lost, and I think a lot of kids are getting misinformation, and that's why it's really hard to find good hitters now, and they're long swings, a lot of swing and miss, and they don't have the power to hit home runs anyway.
Nah,
a lot of them.
No, and you know what? And you know as well as I do, Chad, how hard it is to try to hit a home run in the game.
Yeah, it's always a mistake.
Exactly. If I catch it out front and get a good follow through or whatever, if I'm behind the ball, bam, the ball goes. I had no idea how to hit for power when I first got, you know, in the minor leagues. I had no idea. But I believe you learn how to hit first, learn how to make contact, learn how to hit for average first, and power will come.
Absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Well, this has been awesome, man. So what else do you have for, I guess, on the mindset of hitting, and any words of wisdom there?
Okay. What I tell kids and what's part of my philosophy, lack of knowledge causes fear and apprehension. Lack of knowledge. When you don't have the knowledge of and the feel and the know-how of what you need to do, then you go to home plate in certain situations you will fear. I don't want to strike out. I don't want to leave the guy in the scoring position. God, I know they're dependent on me. You know, what can I do? If you don't have the knowledge, you're not prepared.
Mm-hmm.
And so therefore, hopefully, as a young hitter from high school on or even younger, you get a good coach that basically knows what he's talking about to give you the knowledge. Knowledge is power. As I said, lack of knowledge causes fear and apprehension. And they talk about practice. Practice is great, but if you're practicing the wrong things over and over again, it's not so great. To me, perfect practice makes perfect. What's perfect practice? Meaning you hit a ball just like I put that L screen up, and you're hitting that pole straightaway center, and you'll be able to hold your follow through for 3 to 4 seconds after you hit that pole, or after you drove the ball straightaway center. It doesn't have to be that pole, but just straightaway center on a line, the ball taking off. Mm-hmm. It's not up. It's not rolling over, as you say, this humpback. It's not hooking balls, hitting the ball, foul. It's hitting line drives from gap to gap and be able to finish your swing two-handed or release, two-handed or release, and hitting line drives and be able to hold your swing for 2 or 3 seconds. I have a drills where they hit it and hold it and then go down. Hit it, hold it, down. Hit it, hold it, down. I call it a check. Make sure you balance. Your hands above your shoulders. You got through the ball. 2 hands, you're out here. Release, you're out here. But be able to hold your balance for 3 seconds, and your back knee drops a little bit lower than your front knee. So you're balanced and flexed. When you get your back knee lower than your front a little bit, you're getting perfect weight transfer. From your back hip to your front, back, front, back, front. But if you lock, and see a lot of coaches, which I'm sure you heard, they say hit off a stiff front leg. If you hit off a stiff front leg, your body's going to reverse backwards. So you get a reverse pivot in your swing, and that causes that upward motion too early. And that's where you get that uppercut and the ball goes up in the air. But if you got a good flex and the back knee drops lower, your hip almost drops a little bit lower than the ball, then you get weight transfer and your body stays on plane through the ball, and then your follow through takes over. That makes sense?
Absolutely. I remember that's what you did with me. I remember a couple sessions.
The thing about it is, when you lock the front leg too quick, your body has to go back. You do hit off the firm front side, but the firm front side has a slight flex in the knee to allow your hips to rotate around. It's like when you're throwing. You don't throw with a stiff front leg. If you do, your body's going to go up in the air, and the ball is going to take off. When you throw and flex, and then your hip comes through, and that keeps you down through the ball. Same thing hitting. Yeah. That's where Reggie Jackson helped me. When his legs and hips dropped, he kept him flexed, but he was generating bat speed and weight transfer in his bottom half to generate the power once I made contact.
That's awesome. No, I remember that you'd have hit the ball, and then you'd kind of get down into your legs for a second, for 2-3 seconds, and then just you could feel every time you were in a good position. I thought that was awesome. And
plus, it keeps your weight back, where when they start throwing all 3 pitches, you're out front, you just drop down and stay on your legs, and then develop that inside-out swing for balls on the outside corner, curve balls, change up, or whatever. Then you inside out and slice the ball the other way.
Yeah. No doubt.
Most hitters you ask when you first start working with them, high school, whatever, what pitches give you trouble? Most of them are going to say off speed and low and away. Curveball, off speed pitches, and low and away. The outer half down.
Yeah. Because they're all looking in to pull everything.
Too. Thank you. Exactly.
Well, Mike, man, I appreciate you taking the time. This has been really cool. You got some
enjoyed it.
Awesome information.
No, it's great. Now, I see you online all the time, and I see you respond a lot of times to my Instagram. But, hey, look, I'm going to put more on there, and I'm just trying to, as a matter of fact, my people didn't know who Cesar Cedeno was. You don't think?
Right. They're like, who's this guy?
They wouldn't have it, and that's why I said, when I put it on there, I said he was one of the greatest guys ever wore Astro uniform. I said, I know. I played with him, and then I said, check his bio and his profile. Right. That's all they need to do. Right. That's all they need to do. It's not a lot on him, but it's enough to show how great he was. Well, he was a good ball player. I'm serious.
Well, I can't imagine all the names. You could probably list names for days on all the great ball players you played with or coached. Oh, God. Let me tell you something. There's so many great ones. Words can't even explain. But this is what me and Mo are going to talk about as we put together this, this thing on hitting. We're going to talk about the old school guys and the new school guys, too. Yeah. There's a lot of great hitters. A lot of great hitters now. Cool, man. All right, man. Well, we'll be in touch. I appreciate you coming on. We'll talk to you soon. I enjoyed it. Hopefully I helped you a little bit, and we helped each other. Absolutely. Sounds good, Mike. We'll talk to you soon.